just want to jump into this part too. When you have certain gifts, certain privileges, and you choose to show up as the most relatable version of you, what you're doing comes across as inauthentic. So, what you perceive as you staying grounded, you staying down to earth, you staying humble, is reading as inauthentic. So now they're mad at you for however you're looking, however you are showing up, and whatever privileges or whatever they think is happening around you for your benefit because of those things. You got that. So they're mad on that front. And then a part of them can sense that you're also fake. And it sounds so hard. And it is a hard reality to accept that the most relatable version of you is fake. It's fake. You've crafted that version of you. You've hand selected how you show up and the things that you share when you're showing up to control how people perceive you, because you don't want to create any smoke for yourself. You don't want to create any negative feelings in them. That just makes them even more mad, which is crazy. It is crazy, but you absolutely are coming across fake. That relatable version of you is fake, and they are twice as angry because of that. You don't have to reject your gifts, reject your privileges, or pretend that you are less capable or less valuable than you really are to appease others. In fact, that is a form of like self-denial. It weighs on your confidence, it deteriorates your confidence, and it doesn't get you anywhere, because that downplayed version of you limits opportunities. Like, I truly believe that had I completely stood in the fullness of who I am, instead of trying to appease people who were committed to disliking me and misunderstanding me because they were so very jealous of me, I would still have the job that I was fired from. The job that I entered into after the fact, it was almost like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story of Joseph. Joseph had a dream when he was a teenager about being basically in a position where his brothers were bowing down to him. And he said, I just had this weird dream about y'all bowing down to me. He told his brothers, and they hated him for it. He told his daddy. His daddy even looked at him sideways like, what are you, me too? You see me bowing down to you as well? He'd had a glimpse of who he was and shared it. And they absolutely thought about killing him, their own brother. And the oldest one, who was more grounded, I guess, more mature, said, let's not kill him. Let's just sell him. And so they did. Years later, his dream comes to fruition, and he's second in command only to the king himself. He tells his brothers, he meets up with them again, and they don't even recognize him because he's so adorned in regality. And he meets up with them again, and he knows that they know what they did, and that they likely are fearful that he will take revenge on them and seek revenge. And so he tells them, he says, what you meant to harm me, God meant to turn out well. And so for me, when I got fired from my previous position, I did step into a position that is wonderful. It's wonderful for me, and it gives me an opportunity to develop different aspects of who I am professionally and personally as well. So, for whatever reason that I was fired, it definitely catapulted me into a situation that I am grateful for. But that does not change the fact that had I been my like the big version of me, my highest self, my coworker would not have been able to shape the narrative in a way where I was perceived as less valuable capable than I actually am. And so that's what I took from that lesson is don't do that again. Like, first of all, I had made myself way too palatable only to still be disliked. And then second of all, I downplayed my own strengths to fit in with people who did not have the resume that I had. And I say that in the most humble way ever. But yeah, so that's one thing. Just accept who you are and in the most high or full version of you, and recognize that you being authentic to that highest version of you is not the same as you being prideful. Shrinking yourself or like altering who you are just to make people comfortable is not true humility. It's literally a form of self betrayal, and it's dishonest, and people pick up on it. So that's that is one of my biggest takeaways. You can't go around thinking that people will like you more if you are less. And if you find yourself altering aspects of your personality, aspects of your story, aspects of your background, putting forth your flaws, putting forth your failures, you really need to take a step back and make sure that you do a check in with yourself. What is it about this environment that's making you feel like you need to shrink? And hurry up as fast as you can and get yourself connected, reconnected with the most pure version of yourself. Reconnect with your actual intentions for even being in that space, occupying that space. And remember that you owe it to not just yourself, but everyone there to show up as the most highest version of yourself. Because if you are, in fact, someone who is, submitted to God, you need to really understand that as a representative of Him, you're doing Him no favors by showing up as a little version of yourself. Be the big version of you. The big version of you can still be kind, can still be humble, and you won't come across as fake. You won't come across as inauthentic. You won't be practicing self denial. And then, at least when they turn around and hate you anyways, and they're jealous of you anyways, at least they're being jealous of the real thing. And you will have allowed yourself to show up authentically, which is going to impact your work product. Your work product will be better if you were honest and true to who you are. Thanks for listening.